So, thank you very much, first of all, for all the participants for encouraging us to be part of some help in all of your lives. We'll start with some introduction of our what we are going to go through all the 7 days, so you'll get an idea of the field. The course name, what we mentioned here, is a journey of self-discovery. Just like whenever we take any journey, the journey has a destination. Otherwise, it's not a journey. Suppose you make a ticket, in the ticket you will be asked, so what is the destination? If there is no destination, so it's not a journey, right? It's only like journey only one-way ticket. You don't know when you are going, where you are going, what is the things. Similarly, in this course also, this course itself is a journey. So what is the journey is all about? Right? This journey is about, like in our life, we get so many questions in our life. Like when this World Trade Center was collapsed a few years ago, there were so many questions about God and is there any control? It is reported by the Google that God was the maximum searched word on the Google when this World Trade Center was collapsed. So then there is a problem that people are searching for the God. So then we have to understand that like that people are getting many questions. If there is a God, then why such a thing happened? And also people are asking like this Karuna effect. If God is there, why such thing happened? And even some good people, those who are charitable and very helpful people are died out of Corona, are faced a lot of tremendous problems. Many celebrities also left their bodies, who have done so many services. So keeping all these type of questions, in mind. So we are taking this course, which will be a journey to understand the reality of the life, or truths of life, and not in a boring manner, but in a very interactive manner. That's why we have chosen the Zoom as a platform where we can interact with the people and take their inputs. Not like I keep speaking and you keep hearing, not like that, but in interactive manner. So that what is this course is all about. And this course is based on Bhagavad Gita. We all know that Bhagavad Gita is a time-tested, book. Like in 2014, I remember this Russian government has, put a ban on Bhagavad Gita. Then, we are entire, India, every Indian supported that how this timeless, with literature is of, so much help for humanity, and that's why the ban was removed. And ISKCON was also did a lot of support in this, getting the Bhagavad Gita back in Russia. So, coming back, let us understand further about this course. Like before understanding Bhagavad Gita, this is in ISKCON, let us understand about Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is a founder acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, where we are all getting this knowledge. And this particular society is connected to up to the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna. It's not somebody's any mental concoction or a mental imagination that this Bhagavad Gita is created. That's why we named our Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavad Gita as it is. So this knowledge, what we are also hearing today, is the same Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is came down in the Guru Sishya Parampara and as on today. So that's why our course is based on the Bhagavad Gita, and we will be having our entire sessions from the teachings and the essence of Bhagavad Gita. That's why we can call this course the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and in our real life, how to understand this Bhagavad Gita in a practical manner, not in a just many people do worship Bhagavad Gita in their home, which is good. But if you want to worship a book like Bhagavad Gita, the best way to worship the book is through
studying the book, understanding the book, and applying the book in our life. That is the way to worship any book, not through just showing some agarbatti or harti or like that. That is the one way, but like everything has its way to worship. So same way Bhagavad Gita is, how to worship Bhagavad Gita is through understanding it and applying in our life. So this course will help answering those questions which we have been having for so long, and they are like they are partially answered, or they are incorrectly answered, or they are not answered up to our satisfaction. So in this course, we will be having even question and answer sessions in further sessions, and we'll try to learn that, how to get this our unanswered questions answered, and the truths are revealed from the basis of Bhagavad Gita. So this is and lakhs of people have taken this course. Like personally, uh, like I am Venudhari Krishna, my name, and like I completed my graduation from IIT Kharagpur. So when I was in IIT, I never thought that I would like to understand Bhagavad Gita or something like that. But when I read this Bhagavad Gita and it answered so many of my questions, so I would I thought of pursuing my career in the field of spirituality. And you seeing me here. So after completing my graduation, I have worked in a university as a faculty. After that, I served for 8 years in ISKCON Kolkata, which is the birth city of our Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya. Later on, seeing the opportunity at Vijayawada, where we can address the people of Telugu audience in a better and broad manner. So I chosen to move to Andhra Pradesh, and now we are serving the society from here. Like even in Corona time, we have done massive food distribution across India. Like we have done almost like 6 crore people have benefited through our food relief program, and also we have done a like distribution of immunity boosters to the public large, and also many programs which are beneficial, like value education program in schools. Like that children are the future of our nation. So we have done a value education program, and we conducted a quiz contest for them to inspire them to study Bhagavad Gita and understand it. It's not just a religious book, but it is for everybody. It teaches about us about our life, our mind control, and how to be focused, and ultimately how to reach God. So that is how we can understand that Bhagavad Gita is like that. Uh, so today, let us start with understanding, who is the founder of the Bhagavad Gita. Like, I mean to say, who is the author of this Bhagavad Gita as it is in ISKCON, and who is also founder Acharya of ISKCON, is Divine S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So if you focus on that, like at the age of 70, in the age like after 60 people retire, but our founder Acharya at the age of 70, he started to the West. He was in Vrindavan in India, and he was peaceful, doing his services, doing his chanting, and he practicing his spirituality. But when he understood the dire need of the society, like at that time, US, there is a counter culture like hippies. If somebody is like above 50, they may know that culture. So people are not ready to hear anybody, even though the government or parents or whatever, right? But later on, when Srila Prabhupada traveled from India to abroad, and when he taught the science of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam to them, so they became hippies, became happies, and they actually basically they were all searching for truth, happiness, but they were not understanding what is the right way. Not only hippies, but the public at large took advantage of this ISKCON movement, and within a short span of 11, 12 years, we had 108 centers across the world. No, that time that there was not much communication, not much internet, or not even telephone was very basic. But in that time also, 1970s itself, our founder Acharya spread this society across the worldwide, and he traveled 14 times around the globe in the span of 11 years. So that way we can see that because people are in need of this knowledge, so like it became a great success. Now ISKCON has around 700 plus centers across the world, and lakhs of people connected to the society. So this is just to say that how many people are benefiting, not to just boast, But to understand that, yes, there are so many people who are benefited by this knowledge, especially these courses based on Bhagavad Gita have, trained, and, helped so many people across the country and the world. So today, let us start with understanding some basic concepts. Let me share the screen before we start off. This is the course name, just to redisplay. And this is a picture of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. So, about whom we have been discussing till now. Okay, let us get back to the track on the session. Suppose, let us think that you are either in a marketplace, like like all the cities, there are big markets like Big Bazaar or what do you say, or metropolitan metro. So many marketplaces like a malls or like street markets, any market. Let us assume that you are in one of the market. Let us feel that. So you ask any person around you, sir, why did you come here? She will say, I came to purchase. Some people come to purchase, like vegetables. Some people come to purchase some gadgets like mobile, laptop, or AC, whatever. So if you ask anybody, they will tell. Or some people,
mobile adi?
some people might have come to.
Huh?
Some people might have come to just find a job there, because there are so many people are coming there, to find a job. Some people come. So that means you look around, you find everybody has a reason to come and to the market. So, so what exactly means the coming to the market means you are trying to get something. So let us say somebody was trying to purchase a mobile, like let us say he had a button phone. Now he came to market to purchase a smartphone. You ask the person, what is the purpose? You already have a phone. What is the purpose of you buying a smartphone? So what is your answer? Like what do you think he will answer? Like somebody can type in the chat box if you know. What do you think is the answer? Like why that person was trying to purchase a better phone? What is the? Can anyone have some comments? If you are commenting, then I will. Some people chat. Yes, some people better experience, better communication. Like so, for what? Okay, better communication is the reason. So why better communication? Like then we think the why better communication means because we are communicating something you are not feeling enough, that you are doing audio call, you want to do a video call. For what? So if you like that, you link, when you link to the, like one person is asking, let's start a school, right? So if you link all these links, ultimately it comes to the point of being happy. He is doing, like not only he, everyone in the market, even a seller or a buyer or anything. If you look at them, they are doing what they are doing for the happiness. Then you put yourself in the position. Like in our life, we do go to the office, we take care of our family members, we take care of our relatives, we take care of our friends, we interact with them, we have parties, celebration, birthday party, marriage anniversary, so many type of events. For what? What is the reason? What are the reasons for all this type of so much arrangements and celebrations? The reason is to develop relationship and to be happy. Even at every moment, like you all came to this course, what is the reason? To be happy, to understand the knowledge, to understand the truth of life, to apply it in our life and to be happy. So, similarly, like that means the underlying principle between whatever we do is happiness. If you just think about it, just think for a few seconds, that underlying principle of each and everything, every act, every walk, every call, or every moment, like for happy, being happy. So we'll reconfirm it through the scriptures. The same thing it is mentioned in the scriptures that even here it is mentioned enhanced relationships. Why we want to have good relationships? To be happy. Otherwise, what is the need? We don't need. If the relationship doesn't give you happiness, then we don't want a relationship. Like that's why there are so many divorces. You know that. But suppose we have, then there is a happy relationship. We have people who are celebrating Shashti Purti. They completed 60 years of their married life. So that means what exactly it brings back to this thing that there is a relationship. No, but ultimately the relationship is maintained only when there is happiness, mutual happiness. Because relationship between at least one or two people, not between one person. So that is so today let us understand what is the meaning of happiness. Like we know so many meanings of happiness, but from a perspective of scriptures, what is happiness? Like it is said in scriptures, Anandamayo Bhyasat. Anandamayo Bhyasat means as a living entity, as a person with life, we are all searching for happiness, and that is not wrong. Anandamayo Bhyasat means to be always happy is our nature. What is our nature? To be always happy. But unfortunately, our experience doesn't remain that. Our experience shows that sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are not. Do you agree with me? All of you, if you agree, please type yes. That yes, we are happy sometimes, and we are not so happy sometimes. If you are, I think you are agree with me because this is something a fact. But still, I would like to take some interaction from you, right? Yeah, sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are not. That means there is a happiness is a function of something, like it is coming and going, like it's a variable, it's not something always constant. But that's why it is said in another sentence in the scripture, Vedic literature, that Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti, Atyantika Sukha Pravritti. That means, as a living person, as a living entity, we always want that Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti. We want to remove the misery from our life, at the same time, reinstate the happiness. Atyantika Sukha Pravritti means we always want happy and we never want to be miserable or unhappy. Like some of my friends in IIT, because they are very logical people, they were telling me like this when this such type of session took place by one of our senior. Then he was asking that what is happiness, and like then one of my friend answered like this, sir, if there is no misery, there is no suffering, we can't understand the value of happiness. That means if there is no light or if there is no darkness, how can you understand what is light? It's logical, right? All of you agree, right? That it's logical. That yes, search for happiness is universal, and and if you can't understand, how will you understand what is white if you have black color? That if you never seen black color or darkness, if you never seen darkness, so you don't also you think everything is white, everything is bright. Like Latta says, all the time sun is there. So if you go out on the road, if there are no buildings in the universe, then everything is completely bright all the time. So that is the logic my friend was giving. Suppose you don't know what is unhappiness, what is misery, you don't realize the value of happiness, and you don't. That means misery is needed, or the unhappiness is needed to understand what is happiness. So that's what he is saying. That means whatever is happening in our life, he was telling that is needed, that the misery is needed to understand what is happiness. So then our senior asked him a question. Oh, very nice, good logic. That if you want to understand what is unhappiness, if you want to understand what is happiness, you must be unhappy sometime. But if that is the case, so why even the rich people or the most successful people or the people whom we think of, we imagine that gosh, we should be like that, famous people or whatever. So why such people also that caliber don't go to temple or church or mosque or any other place of worship and pray to the God that my dear God, my dear Lord, my life is so much happiness. I am not understanding what is happiness. Give me some misery. Please give me some misery to understand what is real happiness. So, do you have any person in your experience? Do you have any person in your experience that Who prays like that? That, my dear God, I am so happy, but I am not understanding the value of happiness, so give me some misery. So can just think of the situation. Just think of situation where where you find such type of people. That they go to the temple and they pray to the Lord for unhappiness. We don't find anybody, and I don't have at least personal experience of someone. Our devotees are very intelligent. They are giving an example of very exalted people like Kunti Maharani. But just right, now we are talking of a practical life, because our session is we are trying to bring down the like very higher truths to practical level so that we all can apply in our life. So can we, let us say somebody did like Kunti Maharani did it, but do you find any of your friend doing it? Do you find any of your relative doing it? Or are you ready to do it? I don't think we don't want misery. So then coming back to our session, what we are discussing about the happiness. So let us see what is happiness. That we don't pray like that. That means the fact the scriptures are saying we are always wanting authentica dukha nivritti. No, none of us want unhappy situation. At the same time, we always want to be happy. So being said that, let us understand the further points on this. This is search for happiness. Let us see through some slides how we all search for happiness in our life. So here it is defined, there are 4 levels of searching for happiness. One is spiritual, another is intellectual, another is mental and physical. So then if you come to the physical happiness, what type of physical happiness we do generally get? Like many of us, get happiness by eating some delicious food. Like some people may like, pasta, some people like, pulao, some people like pizza, something of different, depending upon their country of origin and their taste. So people have different choices. Like, and they may, some people like the orange juice, some people like mango juice. Like, so some people like to eat and drink and be happy. So that is one level of thing we can understand. That physical level we get happy by doing something physical. Some people, that is mainly through eating and drinking. And if you go to the next level, that is like mental. Like when you go to the level of mental, so mental happiness comes from music, arts, poetry, and sports. Like here it mentioned that music, some people hear like so many songs, so many albums, and they do painting and they derive happiness through all these things. And also through poetry, right? Like some people write poetry and they become happy by, and when they hear this poetry of no merit poem, they get, that gives mental happiness and mental peace. And some people write jokes, hear jokes. So this thing also one of the way our mental happiness we get it. And like some people play a lot of sports and they watch sports to derive some satisfaction, especially that happened between 2 countries. So they derive so much happiness that yeah, our country is winning or whatever. Like happiness we search through all these things. And when it comes to intellectual, like mainly it is because of the debates. Like when you debate with other person, like if you see this PhD scholars or like a lot of Tarkics, like philosophers, they debate, okay, my philosophy is great or your philosophy is great. Let us debate. So then the games like chess, so much, you need a lot of intelligence to make a move and to defeat the other party, right? So this is all, we call all titillate our intelligence and give intellectual satisfaction and happiness. So different ways like this. And next we can see like spiritual happiness. Like spiritual happiness consists of like praying. Some people go into temple reading, they read books like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and they do like chanting of the name of the God, like that. There are too many other ways people derive happiness through spiritual practices. Like I think many people I remember in this Kartik Mass or some Mass like that, they get up early at 3:30, 4 o'clock, they take bath and they go to like any temple of their vicinity. So and they feel that by doing this I'll get some happiness in my life. So my desires will be fulfilled and I'll get happiness. So they are trying to get happiness through spiritual practices. So, but what exactly happiness means, right? So let us understand that what exactly this happiness means. Yes. Just a second. PPT is just trying to change it. We are discussing further now. You see the happiness here, as you mentioned, like improved facilities, like facilities for eating, like somebody is having facility like for eating, like better facility, like somebody eating maybe like just rice and rice and achar or dal, but now we have, let us say, 10 types of different items like pakodis, pachodis, and sweets, pulao, lemon rice, so many type of items. Then we are better, if you have better facility through eating, we may get happiness. And some people have like temperature control in their room, where even if it is hot outside, still we can use air conditioner or something of that sort and be better sleep, right? We get happiness by improved facility of happiness. If we get happiness by improving our facility of sleeping. Same way somebody has like mating. Mating means like from relationships, like finding a partner in our life. So we get happiness when we have a lot of relationships who are very close to our heart. And also we get happiness by defending, like because when somebody is attacking us, when we counter attack, there is a happiness that yes, I defended the attack of the other person. All of us know that what is happening with our nation currently. So when we successfully face the enemy, immediately we get happiness. Yes, we have thrown the enemy out, like we have made him run from the battle or whatever. So that is another type of happiness when we get by defending. So we get happiness through eating, and we get happiness through sleeping, and we get happiness through procreation or mating, and through defending. So then if we are also getting, animals are also getting, like, as I mentioned, these are animals like just. So if the animals also getting happiness by all these four activities, then what is the difference? Let us look at the difference between the human being and animals. Because animal also getting happiness by eating, and by sleeping they also be happy by sleeping, and when they are also becoming happy by procreation, and they also become happy by defending. So then, if they are also getting happiness, then why? What is the difference between the between humans and animals? Like they are also getting mating, defending. In Mahabharata, it is said that Ahar nidra bhayam maitunancha samanyam etat pashubir naranam. That means ahara nidra bhayam maituna means eating, ahara nidra means sleeping, and bhayam means defending, and maitun means mating, that the procreation. See, if there is, these are the four activities which are common between humans and animals. Then that is the common. First of all, commonality is what? Samani Metat, this is very simple Sanskrit. Samani Metat Pashubir Narana. Pashubir means from the animals and Narana means from the humans. If suppose assume that this particular concept, these four concepts, what we discussed, eating, mating, sleeping, defending, is common between humans and animals, then how they are different? If there are, they also get happiness by four things, they also get happiness by four things, animals and humans, then how they are different? It is said, Dharmohi tesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pashubir sama. Means, Dharmohi tesham. Means, dharma. Let us discuss this word dharma for 2 minutes and we'll go ahead. Like, what is the meaning of dharma here in this text, Sanskrit text? Many people say dharma means a kind of faith or religion or like that. So many types we see. But actually, from the scriptures, from the Vedic literature, you see what is the meaning of dharma. Dharma means properties. Like I studied till my class 10th in Telugu medium. So in that we used to hear this word dharma. Dharma means the properties, like chemical properties, rasayana dharma, physical properties, bhautika dharma, like that. Dharma means the property of that, the element or anything chemical, whatever you can call it as. So that is dharma. Let's just take a practical life example. Let us take a sugar. If you want to call sugar as sugar, so what should be dharma? Sweetness. If suppose like we have citric acid, nimappu, like it also looks like sugar. Like you see that we use it for it's very lemon. It's like in lemony, but it's different. It uses for breaking the milk and making a sweets. Citric acid, citric acid, we call it. So that is that also looks like sugar. But what is the difference? Like how to differentiate? Suppose you have put in two similar containers, you put one sugar, one citric acid. From external point of view, it's hard to difficult. Sometimes in our temples, they come for cooking for the Lord, and because both the dabbas are there, and somehow they are not not named sometime. Instead of putting sugar, they put citric acid, and the entire sweet becomes like transcendental. We can't even taste it. See that because we are not able to, by seeing we can't differentiate, but by tasting we could differentiate that this is sugar, this is citric acid. The same way in salt, there could be so many items, so many like ammonium, there's so many other type of chemicals, like sodium. Like I remember in our Diwali time we used to make this like crackers, different type of crackers. We used to mix aluminium and phosphorus and this coal, and there is also this thing which is like white color powder. One of them is. So if you see that the salt also looks like the same white color substance, but then how to differentiate? So by taste. That means the property is which is one of the things which is defines that what exactly the product is, the element is. So just like being sweet is a property of sugar. So here the dharma means not a religion. It's the property of the living entity. It's the property of us, like the living soul, what we are discussing now. So dharma means that dharmena dharmohi tesham adhiko visheshu. So let us understand what is dharma in our future sessions, slowly. But the fact is that the property means dharma. Dharma is the property. It's not religion or our faith or belief or anything like that. That maybe people may define it, a dictionary may define it that way, but dharma means something higher, not just a simple belief or systems. So that's why when we are following dharmohi raksha, dharmohi tesham adhiko visheshu. When what is the adhiko visheshu means? That is the differentiation factor between the humans and animals is the dharma. Because animals may have some dharma, but they don't know what is it. Their dharma is just eating. When they get food, they go and eat. So they don't have, like one of our devotees was giving an example. Sometimes you go to vegetable market, you find a lot of other animals like goats or buffaloes or something like that. So because they are hungry and they like this sabji, they go and they also find that suppose you have a totakura or palakura, that looks like a green leaf. The goat doesn't understand, that is there is a owner for the malik, he is shopkeeper. It should pay some money and get the whatever that totakura or whatever the leafy vegetables, shak. So it just goes and puts its head in that basket where that vegetables are there, and it getting beaten by the master or the shop owner. But in our case, when we go to the market, we don't do that. We go and we check the quality and then we pay the money and we buy it. We don't just pick it up from anybody's shop. That way we'll become thief. We know that. Because we are all respectable people, we don't do that. We go and duly pay the money and purchase. But the animals doesn't have the discrimination. So their dharma is something different. They don't understand all this, this thing. And even the dogs, like suppose there are so many dogs on the street, and even the traffic, heavy traffic is the traffic signal is on, but the dog doesn't understand. Oh, there is a red signal, I should not cross. It crosses. It doesn't discriminate that there is a red signal, I should stop. But nobody will fine. You don't find a traffic police coming and fining a dog for crossing the signal. You don't. Do you find? I think we don't find that such type of things. What do you mean? What does it mean? That those animals are not having discrimination power, or they don't have the this separate dharma. But as a living person, as a human being, we have a higher dharma. That's why we can be caring others, we can be loving others. So many other things we'll discuss future subsequent sessions. What type of dharmas we can do? So that's why dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho. There are many properties which are our dharma. Dharmena hina pashubir samana. When that dharma is missing, the property is missing, that of that constitutional position, then it's like pashubir samana. If we are also doing the same type of 4 activities only, yes, we need food, we need to sleep, all this is needed. We are not denying that we have to protection. That defending, we need protection from somebody attacking us, somebody attacking property, somebody attacking our house, or whatever. We need protection. But if only those 4 things are our life, like only we, some people say in Telugu, Tinadaniki puttavanu, that means you don't, you are living for eating. We should eat for living, but sometimes we find people just, they live to eat because they don't have any other work to do. So, Tinadaniki puttadam is not correct. So, that's why only if you are doing eating or sleeping, defending, then our life is like a 2-legged animal. That's what here it is mentioned. Pashubir Nara. Mahabharata is mentioning that. You can all read this, what exactly is it? Consider superior only when they inquire about the absolute truth. When we are inquiring about the absolute truth, then only we can be considered as superior beings and considered as a human beings. Otherwise, they are not. We are not, sorry, not they are not. Then human being is a higher intelligence. So whatever intelligence we have, let us see that to find out the cause of sufferings and to inquire the purpose of life and to get eternal happiness. So as we mentioned, we want eternal happiness. We just don't want any type of happiness. We don't want just a short happiness. We want eternal happiness. So then let us get into this, understanding that, what is, because unless we understand, what is the cause of our suffering, we can't go ahead. First of all, we have to go to the root cause for anything in our life. If you want to solve it thorough, then we should go to the root cause. Just like sometimes you go to a medical shop, like English medicine, allopathic shop, and tell, I am having fever. Then they'll use some medicine. After 1-2 days, fever will go away. But if you go to Ayurvedic person, he will tell, okay, he will check your nadi and tell that, you are a kapha, you are a vata, something is higher. And you do something, he'll use some type of better medication and maybe take a long time to cure, but that is more effective in long term and doesn't have side effects. We all know that. What does it mean? That means they are all going to the root cause of the problem. They are not addressing the problem on a superior platform. But we can go to doctor. Then he will further us and he will give better medicine. If you go to medical shop, he will give some medicine which he knows, any medicine like paracetamol or something, just to decrease your temperature. So then what is the problem? So here I want some participation from all our members, that what is the problem? Like So please type, what do you think is a problem in your life? So please, yeah, we have a lot of participants already. Somebody replied something about human being is self-aware, other living entity is not conscious. This is a tremendous difference. Yes, very nice. Yeah, there is general definition given. What is the problem is a situation is not ideal for us. A mental agony. Yeah. Any other participant? There are many. I think we have almost more than 40 people at the here. Yes, Mr. Dilip is saying it is something wrong. What is something wrong going on? Any other problems? You don't find any kind of legal problems? We have, I think we have so many cases. Like we have so many lawyers, having big amount of fees because. Be specific. Here many people are writing something, but write me like what exactly is the problem? Like you mentioned, like I have a financial problem. Like I have because of Corona effect, many people lost a job. It's a financial problem. Now they are finding it. There are many intelligent people like you're saying there is no problem at all. How you take the situation? Yes, this is a good logic, but let us. This will be answered in our third session. That how this particular thing. Health problems. Somebody has written health problems, anxiety problem. Right? These are different type of problems. We have anxiety. We have financial problems. We have legal problems. We have relationship problems like the divorces. Or the parents are separated from children because of the relationship issues, right? So these are the different type of things we can think of, which are specifics, not this thing. They're like, and you all, I think any of us in our life, we find some other problem. Like we have a problem with our boss, or our colleague, or our team lead, or like our if you have a shop, you are working in a shop, your Malik, Jobi, whoever is giving job. Like we have like that, you think of anything in our life, we have a set of problems associated with it. It may be job, it could be our family life, some relative is troubling. Like one of the doctor came to meet me like 1 month ago. He was sharing that, the doctor, his sister is fighting a legal battle to get the bigger chunk of property. But the sister has taken some part of the property before, but still she put a case against him that she wants more property from him. So he is very much sad and he is finding difficulty with it. That why my own relatives are fighting with me, and I have to pay so much of huge fees for these lawyers and all these things. So this is a big problem. Like that, every one of us, we have maybe have minor problems, major problems. Like here written about career problem. Yes, career is a problem because of the job is uncertainty is there. Many of the school teachers who are working in private schools, they are selling sabji, like vegetables in the market, because they have to live. So there is so many problems like that. So let us not further. We know that what are problems. So, but according to the Vedic literature, what is the problem? So let us see the definition of the problem. So what is the definition of a problem? Is generally we think of a problem as something, as it is mentioned, undesirable or like that. But what is the problem is that if you want to say something as a problem, the first characteristic of this problem is it is common to all and no one wants it. No one can avoid it. That means if you say there is the real problem, because there are many problems, case specific to us, but what is the real problem? Real problem is common to all. Like first of all, think of some problem which is common to all living entities, right? And no one wants it. Just that means common to all means it is this problem is there with me, with my relative, with my friend, my wife, my husband, my children, my grandfather, mother, father, or anybody you can think of, even to the boss, your whatever the state head or country head, whatever you can name as, everybody has this problem. That is the common first thing. And no one wants it. My boss doesn't want, my wife doesn't want, my husband doesn't want, my child doesn't want. No, I don't want. No one wants it. And No one can avoid it. Even if they don't want it, even if they don't want it, right? They can't, avoid it. They can't avoid it. Then how? Then what exactly this means? Can you think of some? I want some more voting from your members. That what type of problems are these, which are common to all? No one wants it, and no one can avoid it. Can you name some problems like that? Because as I said, financial problem, career problem are specific to oneself. But good check. But what type of problems are which are common to all? Let us see the what type of this thing. One person mentioned death. So what is death means, like, which nobody wants it, no? Like that's why I was talking to one person in this corona. So this person said, he was not getting a bed in the hospital. You know that initially in the month of May, June, there was so much fight chaos because the beds are not enough in the hospitals. So then there is a fight, there is quarrel. Ultimately, this person said, and even if I am ready to pay 1 crore per day, 1 CR per day, but I want a bed in the hospital because I have a 200 crore property. I can, pay. I don't have any responsibilities now. He is like 65 plus. He said, I'm ready to pay 1 crore per day, but I want bed in the hospital. I want to be alive. I don't want to die. That means, let us say he stays for 10 days in the hospital. He is ready to pay 10 crore rupees. Just imagine, for a normal person, 10 CR is such huge amount. But he is ready to pay that much amount. For what? To save the life, to avoid death. To avoid death and to live some more days. But we all know that, like in English there is saying, as sure as death, as sure as death. That means anything we do, somebody asks, okay, are you sure? The other person answers, as sure as death. That means, yes, it is going to happen. There is no doubt about it. So that means death is such a problem which nobody wants it. It's common to all. No one can avoid it. It may be a celebrity, it may be a richest person of the world, or it may be a common person, or a normal, or a street, person who is lying on the or percussion barrage. Just he also has same problem. Any top from what is A to Z, any person has this problem, and no one wants it. And next is the one of the this thing is disease, like the disease. You see, we all know this thing. We don't have to this in this our pandemic COVID is common to all. You may be the richest person, you may be a smallest person, whatever it may be, but it attacked practically everyone. It did not spare politicians. It did not spare the top people of the world, and it did not spare any person whom you can think of. Every category, children, middle-aged people, elders, everybody. That means the disease is another problem which is common to all. No one wants it, and no one can avoid it. So that is another thing we can think of is the disease. And another problem, here it's mentioned, the old age. Old age is what? Like here you see in this picture, this boy is there. He is maybe in 25, 30. So you see this boy. If you see this boy after 30 years, how does it look? Do you think he will look the same? He will have the same name, same birthplace, everything same. But what misses is that his face will change, and the wrinkles, so many other things. That means his old age has started. He may have white, dark hair here, but after you see 30, 40 years, he will have white hair, probably. Or he may have before also. Nowadays, even age of 20, 25, people have white hair. But the point is that people are growing old with that time. That's why it is said in Bhagavatam, Ayur Harati Vaipumsa Yadyan Astam Cha Yanasham. That means for every rising or setting of the sun, our one day of life is exhausted. It's exhausted. One day of life is exhausted. So what does it mean is that this old age is coming in everybody's life, not just a Tata, Birla, or whatever rich person, Ambani, or whatever you can name. It's not the old age is coming to one person, but everybody. Nobody's paid. Even the richest person, the multimillionaire, owner of so many companies, even if they want, like what do you say? Even if they want to avoid old age and disease, they are not able to. So here is some people are writing here, some of our audience, that money is a big problem. Money is a big problem, agreed. But for whom? Is it to all? Is it to all that like the corona impact? The middle class people are thinking about how tomorrow, whether will I get food, or what is the will I get proper medication if I get deceased, because they don't have money. So money is a problem for such type of people. But money may not be a problem. Somebody who is having a Mercedes, or somebody having like a 12, 13 lakh car, or having property, having gold, having bank balance. Money is not a big problem. If they have, like I said about this rich person, he's ready to pay 1 crore per day to get treated in the hospital. See the magic. But somebody, even if you ask them to pay 1,000 rupees per day, they don't have money, to be treated. So money is problem to few, but not to all. That's why money doesn't fit in this calculation, which are mentioned in the Vedic literature. These are not created by us, if they are given by scriptures. So if you know that these are the common, one more is I forgot of the birth, because the birth is another common problem, because if you ask your mother or any other people to giving birth, it's such a painful experience. It's very painful up there. Either you have to go to surgery. If it is a natural delivery, then the very big pain, because the child also suffer, the mother suffers. You see the labor pains. So much people are holding that lady, and that because it's so unbearable pain. And the child also is facing problem, because it's not able to speak that time. It silently had to tolerate the child. If you see, you can't now, because those experiences not erased from our memory. We are not able to understand. Yes, we are all undergone that pain of birth, pain of delivery, mother and the child both. But somehow we forgot. We forgot that we have done that, or we came out of a womb of a mother. We forgot that. Somehow we don't remember it every day. So that's why birth is also a problem which is common to all. No one can avoid it. No one wants it. So let us that they don't want means they don't want pain of that birth. That what exactly it means. So birth and death and disease and old age. These are the some problems we can think of which are common to all, which are nobody wants it, nobody can avoid it. So you did not choose. How they cannot avoid it? So like let us say Mr. Rajesh, whoever is there here somewhere, some Rajesh is there. So Rajesh never thought about that whether I should take birth or I should not take birth. He did not have any control over it. Just like we don't have control over the diseases we get, we don't have control over the old age, aging process, or we don't have control over death. Same way, we don't have any control over the birth. Where we have to take birth, whether we should take birth in India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, America. We don't have control. We just took birth and somebody else is controlling. We will discuss that. There is no doubt about it. We will come to that. Is another question. Who controls it? Suppose we are not controlling our birth, we are not controlling our death, we are not controlling the diseases which we get, then who are controlling it? So, right? So that is another way of looking at birth, death, disease and old age. These are the 4 problems which are this. Then another set of things we can look at the kleshas, the miseries, as we mentioned in the beginning of our session, happiness and miseries. So if you look at, there are 3 types of miseries. One is called Adhyatmika kleshas. Adi Atmika means self. The kleshas, the miseries generated by the self. So whatever kleshas, first is many of our audience have mentioned that misery due to our mind and body and mind. Like diseases affect the body, and stress, mental pain, all these things affect the mind. So these are Adhyatmika kleshas. You can think of, like all of you can know that we are get these Adhyatmika kleshas. Anything little bit goes according to not our plan, it creates a mental anxiety, which is a Adhyatmika klesha. You find anybody, like I'm talking to common people like all of us, right? Ask them, do they have any kind of any type of agitation in their mind? People may speak, oh, I don't have any problem, I just handle coolly. But if you heart of heart, they know that there is some anxiety. May not be, some people take a lot of anxiety for small things. Suppose you want to conduct an event like a birthday party or a marriage event or anything. So one person just going here and there, walking up and down and shouting at people, what is this? This is not happening on time, this and that. So some people take so much anxiety of getting the things that getting things done. Some lazy people are lazy intelligent people. Lazy people are lazy intelligent people. They just call some people and delegate it. Either they go to their contract or some kind of decorator or whatever it is. Just give them some money and tell them this is what you need and oversee that they are doing the job. Or some people they do themselves and take a lot of anxiety. So we all have a lot of different permutation combinations, especially with this type of things. But it is a fact that miseries are there from our body and mind. Even though somebody may say that mind I am able to peaceful, but body, do you have any control? What type of virus is entering our body? What type of bacteria is entering our body? We don't have. So then there is Adi Bhautik Klesh, that means the misery is due to other living entities. Like there are so many other living entities around us, starting from fly, mosquito, viruses, or anything, bacteria. So many living entities are there around us, like including the terrorists and militants or the opposition countries. All these things are there. So they are creating Adi Bhautika Kleshas, miseries due to other living entities. That it could be a small insect like mosquito, or it could be a person, a country, or whatever. It's like Adi Bhautika, and from other living entities and other things. Third one, some of you mentioned about Tufan or a book like Bhukampa, earthquake, all these things. So they are Adi Daivik Klesha, miseries due to natural calamities. Natural calamities cause so much disturbance. Like I think because of these rains, there are some areas are flooded. So like in our Prakashan marriage here, so suppose they don't want the below areas to get flooded. Can they hold the water for all the time? They have a capacity, let us some cusecs or whatever they call it as, some gallons of water, right? But after that, they are supposed to leave it. Otherwise, the bridge will collapse because the flow of water is very huge. So they have to lift the gates. That means the Adidaivi Klesha, there are Kleshas from the natural calamities like Tufan or tornado or Hudhud, like so many other, you can name so many. There are three types of Kleshas. Every misery we get, we can classify into any one of these three or more than, sometimes some misery could be more than one also, like it can fit two categories. That means any misery you can think of in our life can be fit. As you mentioned, there are common, like there are specific miseries. Like that I was telling about doctor. What is his problem? The legal dispute between the sister and him is because of, can you classify it? Is it Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik or Adhyatmik? I think it fits best in Adi Bhautik because it's from a different person created problem. So it fits in Adi Bhautik. Like that, you can think of anything or any, like suppose you have fever, that is Adhyatmik. And you have a tufan, you have a, this thing, tornado or any other type of thing, that is all Adi Daivik. But you see some here it is mentioned like smiling faces and crying hearts. So here, even though people have, as you mentioned, there are people who are rich and they may not be unhappy, they may not be dissatisfied. But here we can see one of the world's famous and richest, one of the richest person, Bill Gates. What he's saying about in a newspaper? What he said? He wished, Bill Gates was saying, he wished he were not the world's richest man. I want to be the most rich, richest person in the world, or most rich person in the world. But here, the person who was the richest person for so many years, he was telling, hope that I should not have been the richest person. But that person, whatever we want to achieve in our life, the richest, he has already achieved. And now he is speaking that, I wish I did not, I don't want. So there's nothing good that comes out of that. Itna paisa, so much money, anta double vaste, how there is no good here is saying. With so much money, how here there's no, he is saying that there's no much good. He's not saying it is bad, but he's saying it's not much good. The corporate leader who made Microsoft into the world's largest software maker and who is also one of the biggest philanthropists, is seen as a man who does not like publicity. That means, you see, because many times the celebrities, they want to go to some restaurant or something outplay, they go in kind of they put some makeup or some kind of wig or something so that people don't observe them. Because people observe them, they will be behind. In the earlier autograph problem, like few years ago, now the selfie problem. They'll come and ask selfie. They ask selfies and all these things. So, this is the earlier, there is a problem of signatures, all these things. Nowadays the problem is of selfie. But here you see that, here he is saying that he does not like publicity. Why doesn't he is not able to like? Why is not able to like? Because he is thinking that that makes him feel lonely. He doesn't, so much attention comes. He did not like the attention of being the world's richest person. He did not like that attention. He is always feeling that I am feeling little bit discomfort with this type of so much, because initially it may be good that I am the richest person, but when you are having that position for a long time, then it becomes like it is unbearable that that why I am the richest person or whatever. Like it becomes difficult to face that so much admiration, selfie, this and that. And if you are richest person, then so many people are behind you, get money. Especially when there is a rich person, there are in our childhood I learned a sloka which says that like in rainy season there is so much water coming in the pond, like the small holes are there in the earth, like this much hole. There's so much pond. Then there in that pond, small ponds, then so many frogs come there and quack quack. Like in the night you can hear in the rainy season. So much quack quacking is you can hear because there are so many frogs. But let us after 2 days the sun comes, then the entire water goes. There are no frogs. Same way it is said, then when somebody is a rich person, so many relatives come. Are mera hai, he's my person, he's my friend, he's my relative, he's my distant relative, he is the relative of this person and this person, my well-wisher mamgari, something they connect, such a long relationship to connect with you. Why? Because they want some money, some facility, some recommendation, something of whatever it could be. People want, but here he is saying Microsoft, the CEO or whatever, the owner, MD, is the richest person. He's saying that I am feeling a little bit difficult. He felt a lot of difficulty about being nominated as the richest person because that is unwanted attention. Because he is more focused on his work. You can see Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali once said, because he was a boxing champion for so many years, he said, I am the greatest. That is the word he said to the media and to the public. Later when few years later, he is the world's heavyweight boxing champion. You can type Google Muhammad Ali. You will find his entire profile. But later on, he suffered from Parkinson's disease. It's very you can see the hands are always shivering. I have videos, you can see videos of it. He was told to light the Olympic torch. He was not able to lift the torch also properly. He can't even lift a cup of coffee, with safety. So that's why the greatest, the person who said, I am the greatest. Now he later on he said, I am not the greatest. I am the great fool to think like that. He said, God is the greatest. So if that is if being said with all these things, that once you understand what are the greatest people are saying about these problems, like we said, like we discussed about 4 problems, and 3 type of miseries. Birth, death, disease and old age are 4 problems, and 3 types of miseries are Adhyatmik, Adibhautik and Aditaivik miseries. So if once we know there is a problem, so what we do, we try to overcome the problem. So let us see Because when you, like, let us say we get some disease in our body, we may go to Ayurvedic, we may go to allopathy, we may go to homeopathy, we may go to naturopathy, or we may go to any other type of doctors which are available, I don't know. Right? We may go to any doctor. Similarly, when we get a problem, then we generally have four type of solution. There could be many other, but these are the four types which are mentioned here. One is a scientist. We may go to scientists, like all the scientific invention. We don't. It doesn't mean that we go to scientists and ask, what is the issue. No, we don't go to scientists, but we go to the scientific inventions. So then we may go to philosophers. We may go to atheists who doesn't believe in God, or we go to fruity workers. So let us see what type of solution do they offer for our problems in our life. We go to scientists. Suppose there is a problem of boring, like then they say we give you TV, we give you YouTube, we give it so many other type of softwares, OTTs to get entertained. If you have a problem boredom, just switch on or subscribe, yearly subscription, pay us some 1,000 rupees, and we will fill you with your mind with so many type of movies, entertainment shows, this and that. So this is a scientific invention. This online things are all the. So it is said that if you have a boredom problem, then we have entertainment like TV, internet, and all this things. Somebody has an aging problem, then they say, oh, we will give you, so many creams and sunshine lotions, or we have like plastic surgeries, this and that, to keep you look young. So I heard a joke, I don't know, like one person went to file a case against Santur, because Santur was advertising that, whenever you apply Santur, you look like a college man or woman. But that lady said, I have been using for the Santur for last so many years, but I am not looking like a college woman, but I know people are asking how many children you have. So that means, this cosmetic industry, the beauty industry is progressing by advertising that you will remain young. You use this soap, use this lotion, use this fairness creams. So, but this is the fact that that lady went and filed a case. That's what the joke says. That again the quote that these are people are advertising falsely that you will become young. Yes, it's not about one brand. Come on, don't get into one brand, but to give a understanding a scope. But for that matter, any brand in the country or in the world, you see they are advertising that if you purchase this product, you will be happy. You buy you can see sometimes you see the billboards on the outside. They say you purchase this washing machine. It is it is automatic. It is remote control, like AC. Like other day I went to one shop. One of my friend wanted to buy an AC. So then it said you can control it through your app. Wherever you are, suppose you are entering the room at 9:30 a.m. Then because the temperature is high at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the daytime, so before half an hour only you can switch on your AC. That means as soon as you enter the room is already cool. See the amazing invention for if you have a heat problem, we have AC. But let us think that everybody in this world puts in AC. What will happen? Just think. So can you write some responses? So like because heat is a problem, that let us think that if everybody in this world puts in AC, what will happen? Any answers, please? Yeah. No responses? You can guess something, no? Like what happens if everybody in this world puts an AC? I think we all, like, if you are a little bit thoughtful, you can easily understand that it becomes like a hell, because so much heat is generated. Because it's not that AC is reducing the removing the heat, but it is actually transferring the heat. It is not actually removing the heat. It is transferring the AC heat from indoor unit to outdoor unit. If you put a split AC, the indoor unit gets all the heat, absorbs all the heat and heat air, and the outdoor unit, if you see the blast, you go to the exhaust section on the other side of the AC, outdoor unit, you will find so hot. It is hotter than in the room also. Why? Because it is, it is collecting all the heat and it is trying to send it out of the room. So that means the heat is not going somewhere. It is just transferred from one room to another room. So same way, with this logic, we can understand that when there is a heat, When there is a AC, everybody has AC. Then once you step out of your home, it's like, it looks like 55, 70, 60 degrees centigrade temperature. That means your body will start burn with, even if in 48, 49 body is burning, then if you understand 58, 59, like you can't even think of going out, for anything. Yeah, global warming further increases. Somebody said yes, global warming further increases, but it is no. People say global warming is something. It is happening in Antarctica. Actually, it is happening in our own city. Somehow the statistics they don't put it. Actually, many of our days the temperature is higher than 50 degrees, but they don't just mention it, just to keep the people cool in mind. So they avoid mentioning it. Actually, it is more than 50 degrees because there are some other laws in internal you can understand. But we will discuss in our session. So that means there is a problem with the heat. Means people will tell, okay, you have AC, but that is a temporary solution. It is said the AC, especially AC cars and everything. One of our scientific devotees said, the scientific invention like AC are luxury for few, misery for all. That means yes, it's a luxury. Luxury where it's maybe needed for some people, but it is for a few people. Even if it is need, it's for few people only can afford it. But misery is for everybody. Even the person, he may be sit for 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 or 5 hours, or 10 hours in the room, but he has to go out. Otherwise, he'll get vitamin D deficiency. You know that is like one of the major problem in the modern day world because of the software culture. So that means you can't sit 24 hours in the AC. That means, when we go out, we find the heat which we just delivered outside. Like when somebody is deceased, you say that. Yeah, when some people say that treatment for disease, some people have disease, they say, "Arey, we have so much treatment, why you are worrying? Even if corona is there, we have corona insurance." Arey, you have corona insurance, but doesn't mean that you don't, you will be protected. We don't know. And we have TV, as I said, if you have boredom, then you have TV, internet, whatever. That means the scientific solutions are always like that. And if you go to philosophers, they say like this too shall pass. They just think that you are the winner, you can win, or you are the greatest achiever like that. Keep an open mind, let go of old ideas. These philosophers tell philosophy so that you can forget your problem. They will tell philosophy to forget the problem. Life is not a bed of roses. Yes, it's not a bed of roses. Sometimes it is a problem, sometimes it's not. Yes. If this too shall pass away, means if the misery is there, tomorrow it's not there, why you are worrying? Our time will take away the things. Like that, there are so many things which are nothing but philosophically just trying to convince. But you hear him and you go out after 2-3 hours, the philosophy is like a painkiller. Sometimes you get some problem, you take a painkiller. How much relief you get? Yes, you will get for 2-3 hours, or if you get a strong painkiller, you may get for 10 hours. But do you think the painkiller will you get rid of your problems? No. People go to movies. Why? They don't know. At least 2 ghanta, at least for 2 hours, I want to forget my problems. But when they go inside and the 2 hours, they take problems of somebody else, like the hero or heroine or something like that. And they are forgetting their problem. They are taking the problems of hero, heroine, and they are thinking that I am solving, because hero will solve it anyway. Other cinema will be flop. So hero or heroine will solve their problems. But when you come out of the theater, then our problems are intact, rather increased, because we have spent 500 more for the forgetting the problem. Same way, all this type of addictions, like we can discuss for addictions like smoking, drugs. Like you see, some people took the drugs and they are facing so much problem now with this police and all these people. That means they took drugs to forget problems, but they ended up in a bigger problem, bigger mess. Are you able to relate with me? Is it so that we tried to give a solution to one problem, but it ended up in a different, major and critical issue? To everybody, you can see that auto stars are involved in this issue. We are not delaying happiness, but we see that the condition. Same way we have put earlier we used to have horse carts, like where we can go from one place to another by a horse riding. Like even in Calcutta, I was there. You find some horses with some nice trolley kind of stuff. You can sit there and you can go around city. So that means earlier horse, they said there is this horse dung. That means that excreta of the horse is creating the mess on the road. They said, no, that's why we invented a diesel engine, we invented a petrol engine, all these things, they got it. That means there is a problem of horse dung on the road. Now we have made nice roads and our horse, but there is another problem with the cars. What is the problem? Exhaust. So much exhaust that, if you come out of the car, you will be like hell. Because so much smoke on the roads, bad smoke, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, all these things, right? So that means we try to solve one problem, but created a bigger problem, right? Earlier the nature was completely peaceful. We don't have to worry about anything. But nowadays, nature is, destroying. The rivers are getting extinct. The reason being, we tried to solve one problem like industrialization. We did so much industries, but they are polluting the rivers, and we are not having a good water, right? Even our toilets are polluting the groundwater. Like that, there is so much problem. You try to invent a solution, there is a side effect. That is the called duality. That slide comes, but anyway, I will discuss now. So in this world, you try to do something, there is always dual. Dual means other part of it. You have to face the other part of it, right? You want cool, then there is a heat outside. Or you want nice, eat so much. I am happy with this pizza, everything. Then you eat so many pizzas, or eat all these maida items. Then what happened? Stomach ache, because what is it called? Stomach constipation. Yes, our stomach get constipated, and we can't go for out, and we can't relieve it out of our body because it sticks. The maida sticks in our body. Some part is okay, but if you take too much, you have to face the problem. When I am eating pizza, so many pizzas, I am happy, but the happiness resulted in a different type of misery. You can all, I think, understand what I am talking about. So that is a problem with the scientific inventions, or eat, drink, and be merry. Somebody is a diabetic, he can't drink even the mango juice properly. That means he has enjoyed some time, but because he enjoyed excessively, or he misused his body by eating so much sugar, or having too much anxiety what the body cannot handle, he landed up in a diabetic issue where he is not able to work it out. Okay. Atheists will tell, what is this Bible, what is this Mahabharata, what is Bhagavad Gita, what is Quran. They don't have any faith in any of these literatures. They say, it's mythologies. They are all called mythology. Myth means something imaginary. So they try to tear off, like this person you see, he's the atheist, he's trying to tear off the religious books, the Dharma Granthas, right? So that means atheists will tell, don't bother about, just enjoy, whatever comes, don't bother about all these things. Just, I'm giving some time to read. You can go through it. And you can read it. What are some 4 or 5 things are said by different, such a great philosophers and scientists, saying something. There are only 4 quotes here. Here is saying that, Justin is saying that the Bible is mistaken, means he is saying that he is much better than God also. He is telling the God book only. What is the mistake in the Bible? And the worker, the 4th person, the worker, the hard worker, the fruity worker says that, you don't, you have to, what is it? Is amazing is the one sentence. I can is 100 times more important than IQ. Means the feeling that I can do. I will achieve. That particular feeling is very important. That's what he's saying. I can is 100% more important than IQ. It's blood, sweat, sometimes tears. That means you do whatever is needed, but try to get the work done. Work is worship. You try to do your work perfectly as much as possible, then all the problems will be solved. But I don't think so, because there are many people who are working very hard. I think one of my friend was in Deloitte and some other company, a big company. He was working so much and he got so many increments. But when the corona started, then they had to relieve him of his job because they are not able to play. So he did so much hard work for a company, right? And but now he has to be removed from the company. So you may be working hard faithfully to your master, your job role, but still there is a problem. And you go to them, there are so many other solutions like, palmistry, you go to a Jyotishya, astrology, gemstone stone, you put this green stone, your problem will be solved. You put this saffron stone, like Mutyam, Paganam, Vajram, so many things they will tell. Yes, but you have to pay for it, and not 100% always, because the genuine followers of astrology are very few. So even though I see always on rise, but even with all the solutions intact, all this scientific solution, philosophical solution, this solution, that solution, all types of solutions are there. But then why there's always this violence, unemployment, drug addiction, corruption, divorce, mental stress, rape, suicide, murder are always on rise. You can compare the stats between 2000 to 2010 and 2010 to 2020, and you see there is a many-fold development in suicide rate, in murder rate, divorce rate, all these things. Why so? If there is these things are able to give a solution, then why these things are always on rise? Why so? Just think for a few seconds. Why these are the solutions? Then if these are the real solution for the real problems which we mentioned, and the real miseries which we discussed, 3 miseries and 4 problems, 4 real problems, then why the solutions are not able to solve them and they are always on rise? Like even the corona medicine, they are saying if you get corona and get out of it, even after 2 months you may get it again. There are cases like that, right? So the medicine has effect till some amount, right? Violence, unemployment, murder, suicide, drug addiction, all these things. Then another thing, the temporary happiness is painful, as I mentioned. The temporary happiness is like the painful. As I said, you eat pizzas, then another type, you eat like a lot of chilies, too much chili. Then what happens? Burning out. When you are excreting, there is so much burning sensation. When you are happy sometimes, there is a counter effect also, it's misery. Some people do cheating, they do bribe when they are caught. So much problem, defame me. They think that I will not get caught. That ACB sometimes they caught these people and they are in so much soup that that means we are happy when you took the bribe, but we are most miserable than that. Without the bribe, you are so miserable when you took the bribe and you are caught. So better to be honest. And this temporary happiness is addictive, like smoking. Initially, some people think, I am smoking only 1 cigarette. What is the big deal? So, but later on, 1 become 2, because to get the same kick, the 2, then the 3, like that, it increases. After that, some people become chain smokers. They can't give up, even for a moment, the smoking habit. So, it's addictive. And temporary happiness is risky, like addictive, and risky means just like sometimes, like some people take this bribe, then 1 bribe, a little bit happiness, then they again another bribe, or like that they get addicted, they land up into a lot of risky zone. This especially like the smoker or anything, they go and they become like chain smokers. Even though they know that they are going to die, still they cannot give up the smoking. That's how it's risky, like alcoholics. So in the lockdown, these alcoholic people are facing so much issue, because then it is there is no availability of wine, because it is addictive. And the moth also is there. The fire rushes to blind into the flames, lost its life. Right? Elephant, everything, so many things, but we have almost limited time. And temporary happiness also illusory. Temporary happiness is stale in the sense that, just one example one of my friend was giving. Suppose when the new movie song releases, people hear for 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. But they, after hearing 100 times, they want new movie song. They don't want that, because that becomes stale, just like the bubble gum. You chew it, after some time it becomes tasteless. So, and temporary happiness is frustrating. That's why people are, after having all the comforts, everything, they commit suicides. Temporary happiness is risky and like illusory and all this. So there is acronym PAR is full, addictive, risky, illusory, stale, and frustrating, and lowering of discomforts, and unsatisfactory. Why unsatisfactory? Because that's why you want more and more. No? You want repeatedly. Why? Because you are not satisfied with 1 cigarette or 1 dose of drugs or anything. So what is happiness means? Then happiness means to be always free from problem. That's what we said in the beginning, that Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti, Atyantika Sukha Pravritti. So we will discuss in the further session. So let us, if suppose this is the problem and these are the existing things are not able to give us the real happiness, then what all things can give us real happiness, and what all ways we should adopt in our life to be come to that platform of real happiness, which is never ending and everlasting. So that is our journey. This is the first step of our journey. So we'll continue with that, and we hope that all the audience could understand these concepts. And if any doubts are there, you can. If any doubts are there, they can post in the WhatsApp group or this chat box. WhatsApp group is better. We can answer peacefully because time is less. And here one more definition: true happiness lies in finding the true cause of problems. So that we will go to that type of step of journey from tomorrow onwards. And thank you very much for all your participation. And we'll pause our session for today and resume tomorrow. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.